Hello, my friends. I'm Rick. This is your seat at the table, and we're working on items in cycle 13 of a game not traveled. And in cycle 12, Fred Dodge, he's the last four cycles or so, he's been chasing down, trying to find this person who's shaking down the one of my platinums for cash, and maybe helping somebody initially set up a cult or somebody related to a cult. So on the cycle 12, he went and stuck out the Tuff hangout after having interrogated the first Tuff that he had, the street Tuff that he had captured, and didn't get anything worth having. So he went back to their hangout, and then we decided, did he spot any more Tuffs? It was kind of maybe some people might have been. There was evidence that suggested that they had relocated their hideout. But Fred did notice the fact that they did relocate their hideout, and Fred was able to follow them to their new hangout, perhaps. A soft maybe, so it's a -2, and now he's staking out the new hideout, or the new location. So ideally, that's kind of what we want to figure out, is what's going on there. Before we go down into that point, we are looking at an investigation. So I'm going to look at the modifiers once again for Fred, and the investigator works for the house, means he gets no modifier. If investigators hired or freelance, i.e. contracted by the house, which is a no, he would be a -5. So Fred is supported by an immediate team, which he is not. He did have Chastity's assistance, which gave him that modifier. That's a +5. We're talking in a D100, so that's a +5 modifier. Be a +1 in a D20 system. The investigator is working on a house-controlled planet. That is correct. This is Fairwind, so the house controls it. So now Fred gets a +5 for his modifiers for having being on his own turf. The target location belongs to a gutter gang or similar group. No modifier. Guild or platinum, it's a +10. NPC or other player's house, it's a -10. Or smuggler, pirate, syndicate's -10. And NPC or other player's house, it varies depending on the scenario. In this case, so he gets no modifier for the fact he's faced up against some basically street punks. The location is on your house controlled world. We've already got that modifier. The location is a front. Well, we don't know that, and it's not something I've established. The size of the group or the location belongs to a local planetary small, so that's a +10. So because they're basically wannabes, he gets a bonus for the fact that they're not as well organized as they could be. So this gives Fred a +15 to his rolls when it comes to answering questions and things like this. Investigations are kind of a hard thing to deal with. You got to deal with them a number of times before you start to get a feel for what it is you're trying to do here, because you could easily just fill in the blank and not have to do anything. So, the new is observing new gang hangout. First thing is, you see any of the gangers. So he gets a D100 +15, and he has plus from himself. So he's looking to do basically a search. So he gets a +20. So we got a +35. I don't know if that would apply. So we're going to leave the 20 off because I don't think that applies to this situation. He's not searching the building for something, or searching somebody, or searching specifically to find somebody, kind of thing. So 74 and 15. So 74, 80, 89, 90. She's right. Hard lead. Definite yes. Hard yes. So this, with a +30 modifier with a +15, that makes +45. So by rights, this is definitely their new hangout. Now number 2. and Fred. See how many are present. And that's plus a 45, so that's a huge thing right there. I mean, he's definitely getting an earful or an eyeful. So 29, so 16, 69 is 74. 94 is, where are we at? Use the wrong chart on the first one too, or what? Yeah, right. Still come out the same on the other chart anyway. So we saw 74 to moderate, yes. Plus 15. So he can see quite a few people, but not everybody. And before we get too far down that road too, we don't know squat about this Gutter Gang at all. I mean, that's something I probably need to do, is to sit down and roll up the little group itself so I have an idea. I think I did do something like that. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. That's why these damn notes are so damn important. Right? Right? In my opinion, of course. Okay, where are you at? And GHI 223, 224. Yeah, because I think I already, like I said, I have to go look that up, because I think I did. Because you can play your House Lord's modifier, which is a negative 50, and so whatever I roll minus 50, so 14 minus 50 is still 1, because you can't get less than 1. So we're looking at low-level Tuff Gang, the equivalent of 1 light infantry platoon. Roll on chart A for a negative 50. So just, no! What do you want? Sorry, Doofus, you can't come in. That is Fluffy at the door. He's been agitating at the door since I got home. He wants in here. The wife's not here today. She's down at the hospital getting knee surgery done. She has a torn meniscus and a broken A1C. She broke the A1C about 10 years ago, and she finally I guess the meniscus tore. Now she's in real pain, so she really wants something done. This has been a thing. So they're about 2 or 3 hours down there. They suspect. I suspect it to be a little longer than that, but what do I know? But anyway, I figure I took the day off so I could help her out, make sure she got down there and got home and get situated. Because I've had the A1C surgery on my right leg long back in '95, so I know what she's in for. She doesn't think so, but she is. So potentially the Tuff Gang is going to be no more than a platoon, which in basic platoon standards is 25 people. So somewhere in that range. But that's not, like, obviously not going to be everybody that's located here. You know, just for fun, we'll roll a dice and see what we come up with. So add the 2, that's 12. So there's 12 Tuffs present. Let's see, can Fred identify the groups. I mean, so they usually make an effort to stand out, you know. So we have plus 15. Plus 15 gives us a plus 30. So we'll roll. And we'll roll. And 22, 50, 52. Alright, so I get back to where I was earlier. If I can find it. Come on. So I should have marked the the page where it was. Oh. Come on. Oh, that's combat. Surrendering, intimidation, jumping, designing your defense units, platoon shield stacking, soft points, various vehicles and specialty units. For Pete's sake, where are you at? There we go. Alright. So, 52. Hesitant, yes. So I'm going to slide into the yes. So Fred may have found what he thinks is the group's leader. Is the leader alone? Yeah, plus 15, plus 25. Soft maybe. So the odds are probably he's kind of alone, but not very often. He's not that alone. So let's see. Can Fred follow Tough Leader? Home. So we had a -2 on that previous one, which drops us down. So we're now working at a plus 13. 83, 93, 96. That's a hard yes. Okay, you know, I'm going to leave it at that. So Fred basically figures that he thinks he knows who the leader of the local Tuff Gang is, and is able to follow him. At some point, the leader leaves the hideout and goes somewhere else, and Fred is successfully able to follow him. So, if we really wanted to go down into some deeper rabbit holes and stuff, we could set up an event where Fred actually follows the Tuff home and see if the Tuff spots him. You know, that's something I think we might do. I think I might do that. It'll be a different video, of course. Fred trailing. Gang leader. Home. All right. I mean, you know, that's kind of how this stuff wants to play out. I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many options and opportunities, and a lot of it's based off of what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Since it's solo play, you're not necessarily catering to somebody else. But keep in mind that this game also transcends that. So you could, in theory, become the game master, the storyteller for this kind of game, and you might have a couple friends that you're refereeing for. And what this does is that it allows you to, you know, make all the roles for the what-has and the he-has and stuff, and set it up so then we decide what do they want to do. Does the player want to send spies in there? Does he want to send in a ranger in there? If he just wants to ignore it, keep traps and tack, that sort of stuff. I like I said, probably 80% of my game life has been me being the modulator, the moderator or the game teller or the storyteller, or the game master, whatever you want to call it. In part because I'm crazy and I like a lot of complicated crap. And at the same time, I bought a lot of the books, invested in that very thing, and so it's kind of a career path in the gaming industry that we're teaching ourselves how to do things better. And that's where all this information comes in. It's no different than any specialist out there. You go into it, you name it, they've probably got a book full, a locker full of books or a bookcase full of stuff, that they've tried to do to improve their skills and their abilities. At least that's the idea, anyhow. I mean, not everybody does that stuff. So in the cases of this, I mean, I can run multiple events just behind this scenario. So Fred goes to the house, to the new, what we think is the new hangout for this local tough gang, this local street gang, and at that point I could run opposites. I could get some generic NPCs set up and see if any of this, do they have sentries out? Is that a question I could ask? Is there a sentry out? Does he spot Fred? Is Fred spotted? Does Fred notice that he's spotted? And proceed from there. And so the same scenario here. So Fred has isolated what he thinks is the tough gang leader, and he's not 100% positive of that, but he's confident enough. And then I've chose to have him follow him home to see if he can figure out, because obviously it's easier for Fred to handle one person one-on-one than it is for Fred to go up against a potential platoon full of goons. There could be 10 to 25 thugs in this hangout or nearby that would contest anything Fred does, and the opposite side of that would be to come back with the militia, bring my platoon of militia down here, possibly 2 of them, or my house lords of watch, Secret Service, and send that platoon from them, and just get a sheer numbers thing going, and crush the gutter gang. It just, another gang will crop up. So there's a value here that we might want to eliminate the gang altogether. We might want to find ways to exploit them. We put them on notice that they're not, the house is being observant to their bullshit, and go on from there. So in this case, Fred will follow the leader home, and so I'll need to set up a sheet for him. It'd be one of the smaller bio sheets, because it doesn't need a whole lot of stuff right away. And then we'll see if Fred gets spotted as he's trailing the thug home. Does a confrontation break out? We have some gunplay. I mean, somebody tries to shank somebody in an alley. All that's possible. All of it's on the table. Until we know, we don't know until we know, right? Going on, my friends, this is Rick, and hey, if you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell anybody else that's in